Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the inner sanctum of Mr. Magazine, where we do not merely report the news, we interpret the silent language of the stars. Tonight, we turn our gaze toward a city that has been the custodian of emperors and the keeper of clandestine loves for millennia, Istanbul. But even a city built on stone and silence cannot hold back a tide that is destined to rise. Before we unravel the details of a night that has fundamentally altered the landscape of Turkish celebrity culture, I must ask you to ensure you are subscribed to our channel. If you value this depth of storytelling and wish to support our independent analysis, please consider clicking the Join button. Your patronage allows us to continue illuminating the shadows where the truth hides. Don't forget to like this video and share your theories in the comments. Your voice is the chorus to our narrative. Istanbul is a metropolis woven from threads of mystery. Its ancient walls have stood as silent sentinels to history, and its dark waters have swallowed the whispered confessions of lovers for centuries. Yet, there are moments when the city's resolve crumbles, when the weight of a secret becomes too heavy for even the Bosphorus to carry. Last night, under the muted, amber glow of one of the city's most exclusive, invitation-only enclaves, the dam finally broke. For months, the names Gökberk Yıldırım and Cemre Arda have been whispered in the corridors of the industry like an unfinished sentence. They were the protagonists of a story written entirely in pauses, in prolonged glances, and in the electric tension of unconfirmed rumors. They were the paradox. The couple that wasn't, the colleagues whose professional chemistry was too potent to be manufactured yet too guarded to be claimed. But in a single, unguarded fracture in time, tucked away where neon light softened into forgiving shadows, the walls came down. We are here today to meticulously dissect the embrace that has redefined their reality. This was not merely a display of affection, it was a rupture in the meticulously maintained calm they have projected for seasons. We are looking at the protective hand of a disciplined actor, the radiant surrender of a rising star, and the digital earthquake that has since ensued. Was this a spontaneous slip of the mask, or a calculated declaration of a new era? To understand the magnitude of this event, one must first understand the atmosphere. The air above the Bosphorus felt unusually heavy last night, as if the city itself was holding its breath in anticipation. The venue was a sanctuary for the elite, a place where privacy is the currency, though rarely the reality. Into this charged atmosphere walked Gökberk and Cemre, and their entrance was a departure from the standard script. Usually, co-stars arrive with a practiced distance, polite smiles, separate orbits, a choreography designed to deflect rumors. However, Gökberk, a screen icon celebrated for his old-school courtesy and a private life he has defended with military discipline, did not walk ahead of her, nor did he trail behind. He arrived in perfect synchronization, side by side with Cemre, the luminous force whose emotional transparency on camera has turned casual viewers into devoted disciples. They did not cross the threshold like colleagues eager for promotional selfies. They entered with a current running between them that insisted on being felt. Witnesses describe a palpable shift in the room's energy. Conversations did not cease abruptly, but they quieted, settling into a murmur of recognition. There is a specific, resonant frequency that emits from two people who are desperately trying to hide that they are the center of each other's universe. Last night, that frequency was deafening. Gökberk maintained a protective orbit around Cemre throughout the evening, his awareness laser-locked on her comfort and safety. It was the kind of gallant attentiveness that seems to belong to a bygone era of cinema, shielding her from the press of the crowd, guiding her with a light, respectful touch to the small of her back. It was a physical language of guardianship. Cemre, usually the picture of unshakable poise, seemed to lean into this protection, finding a visible anchor in his presence. This was not performance art designed for the cameras, it was a choreography forged slowly in the fires of trust and time. As we analyze this transition from co-stars to partners, I must pause and ask you, our discerning viewers, do you believe that on-screen chemistry is always a reflection of off-screen reality, or can true acting simulate such depth? We have watched them in Winds of Love, Ruse Gali Teep, but did you see this coming? Let us know in the comments below. And remember, clicking the Join button gives you priority access to our community discussions. Your support is what keeps Mr. Magazine running. And then, the inevitable tilted into reality. It happened in a secluded corner, away from the aggressive strobe lights of the main photographers, in a space where the shadows offered a fleeting illusion of privacy. Perhaps it was the melancholic swell of the music, perhaps it was the sheer relief of stepping away from the main stage. Or perhaps it was simply that the burden of months of denial had finally become too heavy to bear. Cameras, planted perhaps for ambience or perhaps by the hand of fate, caught the precise instant Gökberk inclined toward Cemre. This was not a practice maneuver for the paparazzi. It was not a chaste cheek kiss designed for public relations optics. It was a full, unguarded embrace, dense with the accumulation of everything they had held back for so long. It was the release of glances withheld on the set of Winds of Love, of sentences edited mid-breath during press interviews, of an electricity held at bay until it could no longer be contained by the fear of gossip. The murmur of the guests turned to a suspended hush, a collective inhale that cracked the ceiling of secrecy. In that brief, fragile interaction, the colleague narrative dissolved instantly. You could witness the tension leave Cemre's shoulders as she leaned into him, a physical manifestation of exhaling after holding one's breath for a marathon. You could see the profound tenderness in the way Gökberk's hand steadied at her back. It was a moment of absolute honesty in a room full of pretenders. To truly grasp the dimension of that embrace, we must rewind the tape of their history. This is not a sudden fling born of a summer night. This is Gökberk and Cemre. For seasons, we have watched them navigate scripts filled with vengeance, redemption, and impossible love. But the audience, with their intuitive grasp of truth, always suspected that the script was merely a guideline for something far more real occurring beneath the surface. Gökberk has spent years balancing his undeniable charisma with a fortress of mystery. He is an actor who separates his public charm from his private shelter with ironclad walls. He does not let people in easily. Meanwhile, Cemre has climbed the ladder of the industry with grace, projecting a fierce dedication to her craft and an iron poise unshaken by the noise of stardom. There is a debate raging online right now, a digital storm of theories. Was this a soft launch, a modern strategy to introduce a relationship on their own terms, or was it a genuine slip-up, a moment where emotion overrode logic? What is your verdict? Regardless of the intent, the outcome is irreversible. This moment will not be archived in the annals of history as merely a splashy clip. It will be catalogued as the pivot point, the scene where a private love decided to become a public storyline. What does this explosion of sincerity mean for two careers that are currently soaring? In an era where audiences crave authenticity above all else, this revelation may well be the fuel that propels them to new heights. They are no longer just actors playing a part. They are a testament to the fact that sometimes, the most compelling stories are the ones that happen when the director yells "cut." The chemistry that fueled their on-screen dynamic has been validated, giving fans a reason to invest even more deeply in their journey. However, with this revelation comes a new challenge, the challenge of navigating a relationship under the relentless glare of the spotlight they just stepped into. As we close this chapter of our broadcast, the image of that embrace lingers, a reminder that eventually, truth always finds a way to the surface. We will continue to monitor this developing story with the respect and detail it deserves. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the lives of Gökberk Yıldırım and Cemre Arda, please do not forget to subscribe to Mr. Magazine. Activate the notification bell so you are the first to know when the next chapter unfolds. And please, if you can, click the join button to support our channel. Your contributions allow us to maintain this standard of high-quality journalism. Like, comment, and share. Your engagement is our motivation. Until next time, keep your eyes on the stars, but remember that the most beautiful stories are often the ones hidden in the shadows. Goodbye.